Happy Bullet Club Day to everybody out there. It is May 3rd, 2020. This is another installment of Around the Point. Boy, oh boy, I wish I would have used the Bullet Club logo for this, but it is what it is. It is officially Sunday once again. It's getting warm outside, y'all. It is getting warm outside. It really, really is. Summer is almost here. Summer's almost here. I know for a lot of people out there, the best time of the year, right? Everything in perspective, right? It's getting warm outside, going to the beaches, the water parks. You kind of get the idea. And hell, if you're a guy out there, hey, seeing girl in the short, the flip-flops, the nice tank top, if you will. But again, it's all about the summer. I know here in Jersey, the governor recently allowed all parks to be open, so everyone was out there like crazy and shit. But that is Around the Point. I am Steve. Thank you all for tuning in. And I am not alone here. I'm always joined by my brother from another mother, Detroit versus everybody, the man with the golden charm, Big Mike from Big Mike Wrestling Recap Show. Big Mike, what is up, bruh?
Yo, what's going on, everybody in the chat? What's up, Steven?
What's going on, brother, man? It's another day, man, another Sunday. Tomorrow's May the 4th. May the 4th be with all you guys tomorrow. Here on this exciting week, I guess, if you will. I don't know about you, bro, but I feel motivated, dude. I feel inspired by one Mike Tyson. Did you see what happened yesterday, dude? Did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen the clip, man, and all I'm gonna say is don't get on that man's bad side, even in his calm days.
Nah, bro, you don't. Even in this prime, bro, you do not piss that guy off, though. I don't care who you are. I know. I'm gonna say right now, I can just tell right now. There's like a little delay on my audio right now for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I see it right now on the stream right now. There's like a delay right now, if you will, in the sense of when I'm talking.
Okay.
There's like you know when you watch those videos on YouTube and there's those videos that are out of sync. So whenever someone's talking, right, you see their lips move and shit, but their wording is just completely out, if you will, or out of place and shit.
Right.
That's what's going on right now with the camera, but fuck it. It is what it is. We are here. We are here, and it's an awesome Sunday, like I said, and Mike Tyson at age, God, how old is he now? Like
53.
53 years old, still with the hand speed of a fucking 20-year-old, dude.
Yeah.
Sign me the fuck
people
up.
People were still downplaying this too. They was like, oh, he was losing to white journeymen in his later days as a fighter. But yeah, that's from years and years of
substance abuse. Substance abuse. Yeah. Just being in pain. If you remember the Lennox Lewis fight in the lead up in Hawaii, he's like, I wish you guys could feel my pain, but I'm going through every day and shit like that. Like that would have been him at his low, as completely, but him in his prime, being under the eye of Costamato, dude was a beast. That's what I think of when I think back of Mike Tyson. You know, I think of that era of Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Just murking motherfuckers.
Dude's a monster, man.
Just
and
murking
now that
motherfuckers.
He's found some sort of peace. Now that he's found some sort of peace, and he's got that focus. Like I feel like he can at least do 3 to 5 rounds with like your mid-level heavyweight.
You think so, bro?
I think so. At age 53, I think Mike Tyson can do 3 to 5 3-minute rounds with your middle-low heavyweight.
Probably so, man. Probably so.
Today.
You like the whole Butterbean route, the master of the 4 rounds, almost like this 4-round fight and shit.
Yeah, like 4-round fights, 3 minutes. With your mid-level guys, I think he can knock those dudes out.
I think so too. I think so as well. I don't see why not, dude. I don't see why not in that. You may not be wrong on that, but again, it's always a matter of what if. If he ever considered to come out of retirement, at least for one fight, I doubt it. You know what I mean? I think at the same
No, he won't.
he won't. He won't. I think honestly, dude,
He doesn't.
In a fight between him and say Deontay Wilder, like Deontay Wilder before he got murked, before getting murked by fucking Tyson Fury, right? God, it felt like forever almost, right? Like this whole pandemic and shit, and you forget all this has happened before the pandemic. Like holy crap, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, all right. And I think he's found his peace. He doesn't have that desire no more to get in the ring, but he's obviously doing this for exercise. But he doesn't want to get back in the ring at all. He doesn't have that desire. He's one of those guys who licked the toad. You ever heard of that before?
Say that again, dude.
Lick the toad.
I guess so. If I can guess what that means, is like he's seen everything from the sport.
It's DMT. No, it's DMT. It's DMT. He's done DMT to humble himself, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like again, here's a guy who had everything, the money, the bitches, everything, and next thing you know, all that. Not that it's gone. You know what I mean? Like he's seen everything, if you will, right? He's happy now, right, if you will. He's now just happy. He's content with his life, if you will.
Exactly.
But yeah, guys, again, this is another installment of Around the Point. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the podcast a big old thumbs up and share it throughout your entire social media. This episode will be available also on our podcasting platform where you can listen to Around the Point, such as Apple Podcast, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, also over at Spotify, and as well over at okfabe.com. Speaking of Anchor, I want to give a big thank you to the sponsor, Anchor, one of the official sponsors of Around the Point. If you are a podcaster and you want your podcast to begin and all that stuff, right? You, again, want to start your own podcast, Anchor is the way to go. First and foremost, it's free. You're not paying anything on a monthly base. It's completely free. There's nobody beating free. I'm just saying that right now. FREE. Just saying. They have these creation tools that are so easy to use, whether you're on a computer or you're on your smartphone. I've had to literally a couple of times in the past edit a part of Around the Point on my iPhone on the go. Yeah, just easy, just simple like that, and it's over with. It's even easier as well if you're on an Android device. Again, it's also available again online on Anchor.fm, or also for iPhone users on iOS on the App Store, or if you're again a Galaxy user, an Android user over at Google Play. They will help you get your podcast distributed in other platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, if you will, as well. Again, Anchor.fm, the best way to start off your podcast. Also, we're being sponsored by the good people over at Honey. If you guys are doing online shopping right now, let us help you save some money with Honey. Get instant deals, coupons, promo codes on all your online shopping. Works with all major websites such as Amazon, Ticketmaster, WWE Shop, Uber Eats, GOAT for all my sneakerheads out there, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Nike, Adidas, you name it. It works. Again, use the special link that's down below in the description box to sign up, and you can start saving. So again, let Honey save you money. There you go with that. And also, myself and Big Mike this past week did our third installment of the Throwback, which you guys can check out here on the YouTube channel, or if not, on the podcasting feeds, where you can listen to Around the Point. This week, me and Mike went back and reviewed the 2002 SummerSlam, which for a lot of people was one of the best SummerSlams in a long time. I can understand why now after going back and watching the show. So again, head over to the channel and watch the video, or if not, listen to the audio version over on the podcasting platforms. This week, we will be recapping the 2005 Unbreakable from Impact Wrestling TNA, depending what you want to call them nowadays. Apparently, there's talk that they might be TNA again. But again, we're jumping to all places, just like we said with the throwback. So not just WWE content on the network, also with Impact Plus, which I will say, because I was watching part of Unbreakable the other day, and I gotta say, with Impact Plus, yeah, it's kind of a little funny to use at first, but when you get the hang of it, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Mike, your thoughts overall? Have you skimmed through Impact Plus as of late, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you gotta hurry up on that, Mike. Gotta hurry on that. Saying, bro.
Why?
For Unbreakable.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I just haven't done it yet.
I can understand, man. So there's been a lot of stuff happening this week. At the same time, it feels depressing to talk about wrestling. It feels depressing that is to watch wrestling in general. Like this past Monday, the most exciting thing on the show, believe it or not, was Jinder Mahal coming back. I was happy as shit seeing Jinder come back. I was happy as shit. What?
No.
You mean no?
I am so uninterested in wrestling right now. It is unbelievable.
It happens, dude. And again, the idea that there's even talk that they don't even know when the fans, when an audience can go back. Like, I know this for a fact, right? In Florida, yes, they're allowing sporting events just with no fans. I know the UFC is having an event this coming Saturday, right? UFC 249 with no audience, right? No people in attendance. Consider this as well, though, right? In Georgia, right? In the state of Georgia, they reopened their state, basically, right? So you gotta believe that the NWA will probably sooner than later will be having shows again at PBC Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep that in mind too. So who's to say maybe the first company we see back and running on a, how it used to be, likely will be the NWA, Mike.
Yeah.
The idea of that.
God forbid, don't let it be WWE. Everybody's gonna lose their head.
I mean, I'm surprised WWE hasn't even thought about going to Atlanta to do shows. Just saying. We don't know if
I don't think they want the scrutiny.
I don't think like sport. I don't know how it works for sporting events in Atlanta or Georgia. That is, or in the state of Georgia. I know Atlanta's a city, right? We don't know.
Right.
So for all the talk right now that we're doing, we don't even know what's gonna go down. But what I do know is this right now, okay? Wrestling right now is in the shitter. Let's be real about it, okay? Let's be honest here. It's in the fucking shitter. You know it's in the shitter when back in the day I would come up with a script and shit, and now I have nothing. There's really nothing going on right now. Which is sad. It really, really is sad.
Yeah.
I did watch Dark Side of the Ring. I did watch it this past Tuesday, right? Well, I watched it on Wednesday because, again, I had to go sleep early and shit. But I did watch it overall. And I thought overall, just to get into it real quick, I thought it was very well done. Now, granted, the slap heard around the world, I did. And I'm pretty sure like everyone else, I saw that clip when it happened, right? Now, granted, I didn't watch it live because I wasn't alive in 1984, right? I was in my father's nutsack when that shit happened. But I remember watching that clip, right, on the internet a while ago. Hell, I remember back in my college days, I would go to the computer lab or the library, right? In between classes and shit. And there were days I wouldn't even go to class, like fuck it, right? And I would just go on the internet, just scroll through shit like YouTube, whatever, right? At the time, they would post like MMA fights and shit, right? On YouTube with no problem whatsoever. Like the full UFC fights, full Bellator fights. I'm just giving you an example, right? Back in 2010, 2011. So I would watch these fights like it was nothing, right? And you know how there's on YouTube, there's the video, the comments, right? And then there's the what's it called? The suggested videos, right?
Right.
So I saw the clip of what do you know of Dr. D David Schultz slapping John Stossel. Right? Now, I'll say this overall, and I don't know if you feel the same way or not. But Dr. D, even at the age that he's in now, like he's someone that I would not fuck with.
Well, yeah. In the beginning of the damn documentary, he was holding a gun.
Bro, he has a gun collection. He's someone that I just would.
Yeah, see.
He's someone that I just would not fuck with completely. He's not someone that I will say, yeah, you won't pick a fight with that guy, if you will.
Right.
Hell fucking no. Hell to the fuck no. But yeah, in his opinion, he was one of the best wrestlers. He was the best wrestler in the world, in his opinion, and he was a good heel. I'll say that he was a good heel. Again, the curly blonde hair. I don't know how you may feel about that, right? But that was I'm assuming back in the day. But he reminded me of a throwback of like a Steve Austin almost. If you that's the vibe I got from this, right? And he was trained by Herb Welch, who was apparently per Jim Cornette. One thing too, Jim Cornette was featured here as well. What I noticed as well, Mike, keep this in mind with all these episodes of Dark Side of the Ring, there's always a feature or something to do with Vince McMahon. You notice it, right? With the last,
I found that. It was like, I was like, so is this crap on Vince like series this season?
Not really. I just feel like what a coincidence.
Or expose Vince.
Maybe so, but who knows really? But they talked about how Herb Welch was this old evil bastard, right? Who would do something like putting like he would take a dump and he would put it in his armpits, right? So he put someone in a headlock. He would fucking just rub the dude's head between his armpits and shit, and just scream at them, whatever, right? And this is who trained David Schultz, right? Trained Dr. D. And Dr. D thought this was real. He thought wrestling was real, if you will. But he was taught essentially to everything about kayfabe, protect the business, right? Protect it like it's your life almost. And I want to believe again. I assume again, back in the day for all the old timers and shit, that was the mentality. That was the mentality back then for all these old timers.
Mentality this time too.
And I agree, it should be in a way, but again, the way the business is today, dude. Think about it, yo. A wrestler, I think Bischoff said this. I think someone, if I remember, if you ever watched the 30 for 30 on Scott Hall on ESPN many years ago, one of the guys that was speaking in that documentary said, "Oh, back then the addiction was drugs and alcohol. Nowadays the addiction is PlayStation, if you will, for a lot of the wrestlers and shit."
It's just like with Kevin Nash, you know, he said that back in the day, if you shook a pill, thing full of pills, pill bottle, you shake it, heads turn. You do that today, nobody even blinks at it. So, yeah, he's totally right on that.
Absolutely, bruh. Of course. Damien Castillo, is WWE done with Roman Reigns? No. They're not done with Roman Reigns. Not by a long shot, dude. We'll get into that momentarily as well. But back to this whole thing though, right? And again, he was taught to protect the business. Apparently, Hulk Hogan would room with him at one time. Hulk Hogan was living in his house, sleeping in his couch and shit, right? And when the whole WWE rising up and taking over, right? Hogan became their golden boy, right? And Hogan told Vince that he wanted to work with Dr. D because they could both make money and shit, right? And yeah, absolutely they did. I've seen some of their stuff on YouTube here and there. Not bad. Again, those two guys had chemistry, right? And at the same time, when WWE was on the rise, 20 for 20, right? John Stossel, freaking up. Again, that show basically was also trying to expose the business, right? Expose wrestling for what it is. I think Barbara Walters was on that show as well. I think she still is till this day, right? I could be wrong on that one, right?
I'm not sure.
So they're trying to expose the business, right? John Stossel, that is, right? And if you watch John Stossel, you know what he reminds me of, dude? He reminds me of that asshole teacher in high school, dude. That teacher in high school that you just didn't like, that you just want to beat the fuck out of, that comes off like an asshole. That's how he comes off as. If you will.
Yeah, I had a few teachers like that.
That's how he comes off as, like, yeah, bro. Like, he would find a way to fail you no matter what. That's how he comes off as. In this whole documentary. He thought, again, keep this in mind, Stossel did wrestling in high school, but he just thought it was, again, what pissed him off was the fact that the people thought the shit was real. It was bullshit. So he tried to find someone to teach him the way, teach him how things are done, how things are basically done. And in comes Eddie Mansfield. Eddie Mansfield, who apparently, and his thing is he wanted the promoter to give the wrestlers 401k, retirement plan, right? The whole 9 yards, right? The whole 9 yards. And I can, and again, I want to believe, right, in today's wrestling, yes, a lot of these wrestlers do not have health insurance, right? How many times do we hear that?
A while, and now that you speak on that, Jesse the Body was the same way.
Yeah. How many times we've been hearing, wrestlers want this. Again, they need to be a union. There needs to be health insurance for the wrestlers. We hear it all the time. We do, right? The intent is good, but the way Mansfield comes off, like he has an agenda of his own. If I don't have my way, I'm going to expose the business. And that's what he sort of did here. He went out there and he exposed the business. Do you see the clip, which I saw as well prior to this documentary even happening, right? Where Stossel and Mansfield, they're in a ring, and Mansfield teaching him everything. Now, granted, per Mansfield, what he wanted per this whole thing was to support the boys, so they can get the health insurance and all that shit. All Stossel wanted to do was have Mansfield teach him the blade job and all that stuff, right? And he taught him the bumps, how it's actually done, all that shit, which every wrestler got pissed off at because, bro, you're giving out the secrets. You're literally exposing the business and fucking everybody over.
Right.
Which was like, dude, come on, what the fuck? And what really did me, I started dying. I don't know if you caught this or not. Mansfield has said a quote. I said this a long time ago. Abe Lincoln freed the slaves, but he forgot to free the wrestlers.
Bro, I almost turned it off.
Bro, what the fuck?
I almost turned it off. I was like, how is that comparable, bro? Like, for real?
Yeah, how does Abe, if that's the case, isn't Abe Lincoln like the lineal champion then? Like, come on, think about it.
Bro, like, I was like, how is that even comparable? Like, you can't even compare that.
You can't. Absolutely. You cannot compare that at all. It's uncomparable. So then, with all the information that Stossel got from Mansfield, right? And it's funny because even Jim Cornette buries him in this clip. Oh, Matthew was a has-been, never was, this and that, which was funny as shit. This is why I love Cornette. I know a lot of people will frown on Cornette. Oh, he's this bitter old man. But shit like this, dude, he comes off like a glove, dude. He fits in like a glove in any type of moments and shit. So then Stossel goes to Madison Square Garden, right? I like the whole reenactment of how everything was going down and shit. He wanted to do interviews with the wrestlers from the WWE. Vince told Dr. D, hey, listen, there's a guy trying to expose the business. Stay in character. Stay in character. Give him hell. And as we see, and again, if you watch the clip or the slap, right? If you watch that clip, it's not like he asked him a direct question. He just told him flat out, like, I think it's fake. Like, he didn't even ask him a question. He just like, you know what? I think
gave him
it's
his
fake.
Opinion.
Yeah. And then he got pimp slapped. Not once, but twice, dude. Right. Now, here's the thing about it, okay? Before we move any forward, again, I'm pretty sure, just like me, Mike, you've heard people tell you, wrestling is fake. Yes, no shit. No shit. I think at this stage of the game, you should not let that offend you. If you're a wrestling fan in 2020, the F word, that 4-letter F word should not offend you. Do you to me, key thing about it?
Yes and no.
It's not. And listen, yes, I respect the craft. I respect the ability in the ring. I respect that. I respect the hustle of the wrestlers, right? That traveled the roads and put their necks on. I respect all of that. Don't get it twisted. But at the same time, listen. How many? Not the first time, not the last time we'll hear it. That's how it comes off on me, almost like, yes, we know it's fake. No shit. No fucking shit, it's fake. Yes, we get that. But at this point, you should not let that offend you. You should not be triggered by someone calling it fake. In my opinion. Now, with that being said, did Schultz have every right to do what the fuck he did? Fuck yeah, he did. Fuck yeah. Listen, when I watched that clip, I laughed, bro. I laughed my ass off. I say this, bro. If you're down, if you're having an off day, if you feel down in the dumps, you know what's gonna cheer you the fuck up? Go to YouTube, just type in Dr. D slapping John Stossel. That will always cheer you. That should always find a way to cheer you up if you're a wrestling fan. In my opinion.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Mike?
I was gonna say something prior to that, but we already moved on. I don't want to harp on it. I don't want to beat that dead horse.
Fine, that's fair enough. So then the whole thing happens. Dr. David D goes on to have his match with Antonio Inoki, of all people, to lose. Vince told him, hey, you got to leave now, this and whatnot. The next day, Vince tells him, listen, I'm going to cover the fine. Just go to Japan.
Right.
Let this shit cool off. That's the first time we see Vince pay off anything. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. Not the first time on Dark Side of the Ring where Vince McMahon is
but this is harmless.
I know that, but I'm just saying, though, bro. So then, that happens. Right? He goes to Japan, and the reporter tell him, hey, we want you to slap everybody, yo. Slap the reporters in Japan. And he does that. So basically, I don't know how that happened. Even in that era, right? Even in that era in the 80s, right? How fast that news of him slapping Stossel got to Japan. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing, right? So then, yeah, Dr. David D's in Japan. He comes back to the States. At the time he comes back, 24/20 came out. That episode came out, and the slap happened, all this concern, what have you. And that's where Stossel files a lawsuit against Vince McMahon in WWE, right? And for all that's going on, I'm trying to figure out what was the word. There you go. So all this is happening, right? And keep this in mind, Stossel's suing WWE and he's suing Vince, right? But Vince wants Dr. D to sign a paper to state that it's all on him, basically, right? So basically what Vince wants Dr. David D to do is take responsibility for what happened. Even though Vince said he'll pay for the fine, he'll cover everything. But now it's like he is putting everything in Dr. D, right? Which Dr. D was not going to do. He was not going to do that shit. Like, fuck that, bro. You crazy. You are insane if you think I'm going to do that. And then, at the time, listen, WrestleMania 1 was becoming the thing. Which, by the way, too, before I fast forward anything. So WWE tells Stossel, okay, to prep the whole trial and shit, they wanted Stossel to go get checked by a WWE doctor. And apparently, per Stossel, the doctor said, before even checking him, I think you suffer from a gerosomatic illness. It is a somatic illness brought on by a pending lawsuit. Keep that in mind. So basically, this is like an illness that you get when you're like facing trials and shit like that, and it goes away when everything just is done with and shit. Which is funny because Stossel says, yeah, hey, he got $280,000 out of this whole thing. $280,000 at that time. Hey, not bad at all. And once everything went away, like, yeah, the pain went away. Keep this in mind. He had a daughter at the time. There was a baby. He had trouble again carrying her and shit because she was crying. But at the same time, all that was happening, WrestleMania 1 was becoming a thing, right? They brought in Mr. T. And the belief was that, Dr. D was going to give Mr. T hell and shit, right? And they're like, hey, listen, if you touch Mr. T, you're going to get fired. Then Dr. D was like, well, I guess I'm fired then. And then you see the whole thing where he gets booted out of the building, right? Apparently, per Dr. D, he wasn't even going to hit him. Wasn't going to hit him at all, but he was talking to Mr. T. Now, granted, Hogan has another story, if you ever listen to his episode on the Steve Austin podcast, where he said that, yeah, Dr. D did slap Mr. T and shit. But again, the way it comes off is like, yo, Dr. D was fucked over. That's how this comes off as to me by WWE. Because I want to believe, look, listen, if this shit never happened, I want to believe that Dr. D would have been a big part of WrestleMania 1. I think, hell, I'll go one step further. I don't even think we would have had the tag team match as the main event.
Right.
I think WrestleMania's one main event would have been Hogan and Dr. D for the WWE title.
Yeah, because that was the big thing in AWA, right?
What happened?
I said that was the big feud in AWA, and they brought it to the WWF.
Not that they brought it to the WWF. Back when they were working the Memphis territory. And they just
Memphis.
They just brought that they had the chemistry together and shit. And again, Vince told Dr. D when he signed that, hey, you don't gotta worry about anything. I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna make all the money. You're gonna be the top heel and shit. So I want to believe going into WrestleMania 1, that would have been the main event. Or if not, hell, even Roddy Piper. But I do think that Dr. D would have been a big part of WrestleMania 1. That's what I want to believe. Now, granted, when all this happened, right, Dr. D gets fired. Hulk Hogan, again, leading up to WrestleMania 1, Hogan and Mr. T were a guest on the Richard Belzer show. And they show a clip where Hogan puts Belzer in a sleeper hold. Again, Richard Belzer had a talk show host back in the day, and he puts Hogan in the sleeper hold, right? How about Hogan puts Belzer in a sleeper hold, right? In a choke, if you will, right? Lifts him off the air, right? Puts pressure, and Belzer just drops. So Dr. D, wait a minute. Hogan does that to Richard Belzer, and nothing happens to him. I slap John Stossel, and I get fined, and I'll get all this shit on me. Granted, let's be real about it, though. It's Hulk Hogan. It's the 80s. Hogan was the golden goose. They were not gonna fuck over Hogan. Just get that out of the way. That's like WWE now trying to fuck over Roman Reigns, if you will. Think about it. Wasn't happening at all. Was not fucking happening.
Right.
But again, guys, I do recommend you guys give that a watch whenever you get a chance. I know this coming week is going to be the UWF, which I wanted to watch for a while. When the news came out, all the episodes they're coming up with, this is one of them. So yeah, this one's worth the watch. Believe me when I say that. Moving on here. Kevin Owens confirms that he suffered an injury at WrestleMania 36. Keep this in mind, or talk that why the fuck wasn't he on television? All this whatnot. Apparently, Kevin Owens confirmed to a French radio station, RDS, that he suffered an ankle injury during his WrestleMania match against Seth Rollins and believes he either sprained it or suffered a mild fracture. He was scheduled to undergo X-ray to determine how serious the injury is, but as the report came out, right, X-ray revealed a fracture of a mild severity, with the expectation that Owens will be back soon. But apparently at the same time, though, Owens is staying at home. He's not really, doing anything. It's his choice to stay home. It basically is his choice to stay home. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really is nothing wrong with that either, man. Speaking of injuries, another one. Jimmy Uso has suffered a serious knee injury that will keep him on the sidelines for the rest of the year. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Jimmy Uso is dealing with a knee injury that he'll miss 6 to 9 months of action. Speculation is that Uso hurt his limb during the triple threat ladder match with Kofi Kingston and John Morrison at WrestleMania 36. Even though that's not confirmed, but that's what they're saying, apparently. Keep this in mind, which explains why they're not in the title picture right now on SmackDown. It's the Forgotten Sons. It's obviously the New Day, Lucha House Party, Miz and Morrison, which explains a lot, honestly.
Freaking terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible. The Forgotten Sons, bro. Wait, you don't like the Forgotten Sons, bro? You don't like them?
No. Didn't like it in NXT. Don't like it now. Don't like it ever.
Oh, come on, dude. You know what? I hope they win, yo. I hope they win the tag titles, bro. Can you imagine if they win the...
If they do, I won't be watching.
Like, can you imagine, dude, the idea of the Forgotten Sons winning the tag titles, dude? See it now.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't like the Forgotten Sons, bro? Just saying, bro. Checking the audio, too. We're coming out good. We're coming out good, by the way. Speaking of, again, there's been also this week releases, dude, by the way. Releases have happened. So, it's been reported this week that 3 people have been let go by WWE. Even though one is rumored to be furloughed, that being Jack Briscoe. He's been released / furloughed by WWE. He's been there since 1984, I believe. So keep that in mind too. Apparently he posted something saying that, hey, listen, if he doesn't come back, it's been a fun ride. So there's that. Also, who were released. This was like a breeze, if you will. He was just there for a cup of coffee. One, Cain Velasquez has been released by WWE. Keep this in mind, Velasquez only had 2 matches. Keep that in mind, Mike. Only 2 matches. 2 matches.
2 matches and everybody hated it.
No. The first one was in Saudi Arabia, and the other one was on a house show in Mexico with Humberto Carrillo and I think also Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And
but the match that he had on TV, everybody hated it. Yeah,
but that was against Brock in Saudi Arabia. Apparently, though, according to the Observer, Velasquez was primarily signed for 3 main reasons: to let Brock avenge his UFC defeat to Kane in 2010, to give the Saudi Arabia show another big sports name alongside Tyson Fury, and 3, to help push SmackDown's debut on Fox due to the network pushing live sports content. And they got that. They got all of that.
Yeah, but he never fit in, though.
You know what it is, too, though? I think people don't seem to realize this as well. Kane got into WWE right? With everything happened, needing knee surgery. Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
He needed knee
but
surgery.
a lot of people, a lot of people just didn't like the idea of him coming in. Period. And I mean, it's unfortunate that it didn't work out, but just a lot of people. And also, he pretty much rubbed a lot of the backstage the wrong way too.
I
He
would
posted
assume.
a picture of him and Ronda Rousey at WWE headquarters without, advising that he let that out. He wasn't supposed to do that. He did a couple of things that ticked off higher ups in WWE, so
Do you talk about the
it wasn't
interview?
gonna work out.
Was it the interview that he did in the UK, saying that he was gonna be in the Rumble match before they even announced
Oh
that
yeah, that too.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember that
Yeah,
one.
that ticked them off too.
Yeah, to be real about it though, I just honestly think on it. To be real with you, they just needed a name on Fox, and yeah, that's Cain Velasquez. Say what you want, one of the big names in the world of MMA, right? He beat Brock. Granted, Tyson Fury, and again, I said this a long time ago when we were going in the Crown Jewel. Like if I had to pick between Brock and Kane or Tyson and Tyson Fury, that is not Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury, right? And Braun Strowman, pick one
Right.
match. I was picking Kane and Brock, right? Tyson Fury and Braun was just a terrible match, right? And granted, like if you watch him in
Right.
AAA, like he debuted in AAA, right? At Triple Mania. Kane, that is, Cain Velasquez, right? And everything that he did in that match, granted, I want to believe they practiced it, they rehearsed it, right? He was smooth as fuck in that ring. All the moves that he was doing and shit was very lucha based. Granted, he wore a mask, a bull mask, which was funny as shit. Imagine if El Torito took steroids, bro. You would have gone Cain Velasquez, right? But WWE didn't want that. They wanted Cain Velasquez, the UFC fighter, the motherfucker that beat Brock Lesnar 10 years ago, or almost 10 years ago at that time. But again, and I will say this again, they signed a guy who needed knee surgery. So there was that. There was that. And then the last person that we mentioned here that been released has been Curtis Axel. Has been released by WWE.
Yep.
And listen,
It finally happened.
It finally happened, long overdue. And listen, before anyone sits there and says, "Oh, they could have done more with him," yes, but you know what? Even if that, he was not going to move the fucking needle. I don't care who you are, that guy was not moving the fucking needle.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was not. But I'm sorry, but listen.
I mean, he was two gimmicks in WWE, and it didn't work.
I remember, honestly, dude, I remember watching him in FCW. He was Joe Hennig in FCW, feuding with the likes of Alex Riley, feuding with the likes of, I think, Low Key or Caval back in the day. Remember Caval in FCW? Holy shit, dude. Those were the days. Those were the fucking days. But I remember watching him then. He went to season 2 of NXT. Season 2, he became Michael McGillicuddy. Right? He runner up. Joins the Nexus and all that stuff, right? With Husky Harris. Remember Husky Harris back in the day, dude?
Yeah, I think that was mistake number one, calling him Michael McGillicuddy.
Yeah. And then
Like, everybody knows this guy is a Hennig.
I know, yeah, people knew he was a Hennig. People knew that he was the son of Mr. Perfect, the son of Kurt Hennig, right? And then they make it again after all the time, right? They made him a Paul Heyman guy. He became essentially a Paul Heyman guy, and he won the Intercontinental title in 2013. Ironically, dude,
but
he won it on Father's Day, dude. He won it on Father's Day.
Oh yeah, I bet that was sentimental.
He won it on Father's Day.
I guess that's a good moment.
And yeah. I remember on Twitter, I'll never forget this shit. On Twitter, he posted a side-by-side photo of him with the Intercontinental title, and another photo was his dad with the title. Because again, when you think of that old school Intercontinental title, you think of Kurt Hennig. In my opinion, that's what you think of, Kurt Hennig. And that's it. He was a Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman was with him. Nothing. He formed Rybaxel. Nothing. Axelmania. Remember Axelmania back in 2015? Right? Nothing.
Yeah, him and Damian Sandow.
Nothing, dude.
Well, they had to cut that short because of Hulk Hogan himself.
Yeah. Oh, just so Hogan can beat him up. Nothing, dude. Yeah, I remember that too. The Sandow was the Macho Man, and Axel was fucking Hulk. I remember that shit. That shit was funny.
That was weird.
It was funny though, bruh. But the problem is,
it was weird.
But the problem is, dude. The problem was he didn't have his father's charisma, though. He didn't have it.
No, he didn't.
If he would have had his father's charisma, it'd be a whole nother story, bruh. Now, granted, again,
he had his grandfather's charisma,
and then he was part of the Social Outcast and part of the B Team, and nothing, bruh. And again, it's one of those things where there's, again, all these hope and promises, and sometimes this never works out. Never pans out for him. Granted, I do know that he helped The Rock train in 2013 for when Rock came back or whatever for that match with CM Punk. Curtis Axel was a big part of helping Rock get back into ring shape and stuff like that. So there was that. I mean, honestly, dude, do I see him going out there on the independent scene once the indies is restored and shit? I mean, he is pushing for it. He is 40 years old. Does he even want it? I don't even know, bro. We shall see.
I don't know. I think, yeah.
There's that. It's sad, but I mean, again, I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, they could have done more with him. They could have, very underutilized. I mean, it's not like he was gonna move the needle anyway. I'm just saying. It's not like they're gonna put the fucking world title on him. No, fuck that. Besides, bro, they didn't put the world title on his father. What made you think they could put the world title on him? Come on. Let's keep it 100 here. Mike, did you know, and I know, again, we're all over the place today, that this year's Money in the Bank is going to be taking place at the same time? Both men and women. And here's the thing about it.
Side by side.
Simultaneously. All of them in the ring. Well, again, granted, it starts from the fucking entrance door, right? Titan Towers, whatever, or the new headquarters that they're in right now in Connecticut, and they're gonna work their way.
No, it's Titan Tower. They're not in that new building.
Yeah, they're in the new building. Yeah, they're in the new building now, right? So how's it gonna go down? I'm assuming.
No.
They're in Titan Towers.
They're not in the new building. Yeah, the reason why they're cutting all these people is because they can't go to the new building.
Okay, well. They're gonna start off from the bottom of the Titan Towers and work their way to the top. Well, where there's the ring and there's the two briefcases hanging side by next to each other and shit. It's gonna be very cinematic. And honestly, listen, I know for a lot of people it's gonna get frowned on how dumb this is gonna be. I'm just gonna probably sit back and let this shit play out. Believe it or not. I'm curious. I'm very intrigued, Mike. I'm very intrigued to see how this will go out, bro.
Oh, I'm gonna say this: it better be better than the Super Bowl commercial they did back in the day.
Well, with Trish and with Trish and Vince, and that was a Super Bowl commercial, right? Oh yeah, I remember talking about. Yeah, the attitude. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just might. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, but that's the plan. No, granted, from my understanding as well. It's gonna be like an all-day thing. They'll get back to the Money in the Bank, while all the other matches are gonna happen at the Performance Center. So, Drew and Seth Performance Center, Drew and Seth Performance Center, Bray and Braun at the Performance Center. The tag title matches at the Performance Center. So that's the plan, as we speak. I could be wrong.
It would be funny.
What happens?
It would be funny because it's the Money in the Bank matches are happening in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So it'd be hilarious if we get the Money in the Bank matches, and then at the end of the night we get a cash in.
You imagine that? Like how the fuck? Like, how did you get to
Bro,
Connecticut? How'd you get to Florida that fast?
I think I will give that show an A+ if they do that, because that would be so funny.
I started dying, bro. I'll start fucking dying if that happens.
Bro, that's a 3 hour. Like, how'd you get down here in 3 hours?
Exactly, under 3 hours. The fuck? Because again, to my understanding, from what I was told, I could be wrong on this. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Don't believe me? Go back to the Drake Maverick situation, right? So they're gonna start off with the Money in the Bank and go back and forth from that to the Performance Center and all that shit. It's gonna have like a very Final Deletion vibe almost, if you will. That's sort of like the feeling that I get, but we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of which, apparently Apollo Crews might not be at Money in the Bank after all. Apparently they said per his injury on Monday that he's out. He is out, and apparently per the spoilers, apparently Styles will be there this Monday. Makes you think, right? Maybe it's AJ Styles taking the spot, or maybe even Andrade.
Well, aren't they doing a gauntlet match?
I think so,
to
yeah.
Determine the last person.
That too, yeah.
So, gauntlet match style, it's a person every time somebody beats somebody. So maybe AJ Styles like the last person as a surprise.
Or at the same time, is Apollo Crews trying to fight to get his spot back, basically, right?
Or that too, yeah. Or that too.
While being hurt, hey, I still want my spot, this and that, and maybe we'll see. So there's that. NXT this week. NXT. Oh, by the way, before I get back to that, before I get to NXT, I did watch the contract signing. I did enjoy it for what it was worth. Probably one of the best contract signings I've seen in a long time in WWE programming. Even though, again, I don't feel like Seth is... It's stupid that he's getting a shot, right? But I liked how Seth is coming off like this Jesus-like feel, if you will.
Right.
He's coming off like this pseudo-Jesus almost, right? In a suit, he's speaking very low, right? His demeanor, everything about it, I'm enjoying, right? And I feel like Drew as well is coming into his own. That's the vibe I get. Like he's coming into his own, right, as champion. He said he said a curse word. Oh, he's full of shit to Seth, and the whole thing happened. Buddy Murphy comes out. He gets speared. He gets Claymore kicked. He gets Claymore kicked by fucking Drew McIntyre. Apparently, tomorrow on Raw is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Buddy Murphy. So keep that in mind as well. Non-title match. And of course, Jinder Mahal's back, so I'm happy for that one, dude. My boy Jinder is back, dude. Shaved, cut everything, dude. He cut off his Jerry curls, bro. I'm mad about that, yeah. Mike.
Yeah. I hear you.
I'm mad he cut off his Jerry curls, bro.
Yeah, back to
shaved head.
He looked like how he came back. Yeah, when he came back the first time to get that contract from Heath Slater. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
He had that Miami Vice blue suit on. That crap was ugly.
Yeah. So there's that. NXT. I didn't watch everything of NXT, to be honest. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I watched everything. You know. I did watch the clip, or I did watch the whole that whole thing with Matt Riddle and fucking I'm having a brain fart right now. Timothy Thatcher.
Thomas Thatcher.
Timothy Thatcher,
yeah.
The whole what do they do? Like the whole parody of the dating game almost, or the bro game, I guess.
Yeah.
And they brought out...
Yeah, is that or like the newlyweds?
Yeah, the Broly-weds. There you go. The Broly-weds, I guess they're calling it, right? And they brought out fucking Byron Saxton for this shit. Kind of like... I get what they're trying to do, right? It's corny. All for Imperium to come out and attack Riddle and Thatcher. So there was that. Apparently also... Again, this coming week of NXT is going to be a very stacked show, dude. Very, very stacked. You have Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. Still happening, by the way. Right? Still happening. Right?
Right.
Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole for the world title. You have, for whatever reason, I don't know why you're doing this, but fucking hell, Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai for the women's title. Remember, Io Shirai is the number one contender. This past Wednesday, Charlotte beat Mia Yim. Literally beat her. Mia Yim had barely any offense in the match. So there's that. And again, to me, and I'm going to say it again, that should be at a TakeOver. Not on free television. Not on fucking free television.
Yeah, Io and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to have Drake Maverick versus Kushida. I could be wrong on that one. I don't know, but apparently that. So Drake Maverick won last week. He beat Tony Nese. It makes me want to believe that, hey, what I'm saying might come into fruition. At the same time, a part of me feels like, yo, he's already back with WWE. Do you get that vibe?
He might.
Do you get that vibe though? Like he's already, because I could have sworn I heard Beth Phoenix talk about how he's back. He's full time on NXT. I could have sworn I heard that.
She said that because
I could have.
She had to record that from her home, and they had to check that. Oh my god.
I could have sworn I heard. I could be wrong, but
said that?
I think she said that. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Or did she say that he was full time on NXT and then he got let go?
I don't know. I don't think they mentioned the let go part, but still, you know what I mean. But that's how it came off. Wait a minute, what? So yeah, he beat Tony Nese. So there's that. And now he's facing Kushida. Again, if he beats Kushida, it'll be a fucking miracle. If he beats Kushida.
Yeah, he's not doing that. He's not doing that.
Also, I did enjoy the Keith Lee versus Damian Priest match for the North American title. I thought that was a very good match. On the other side, I didn't watch Dynamite. I didn't know what was gonna happen though. I mean, come on. Who did not see Lance Archer beating? Who did not see that coming? Who literally thought that Dustin Rhodes was gonna beat Lance Archer? Come on, seriously.
Man, I predicted this as soon as the brackets were shown. I was like, it's Cody and Lance in the finals. And
yes.
Either Lance or Cody is winning, and I don't care who wins.
Yeah. Also, what else happened on the show? And I didn't give a fuck I didn't give a fuck, to be real with you. That's the point about. I just wasn't feeling watching wrestling and shit. Like going back and forth with the shows and shit. Marco Stunt
I didn't care for either show.
Marco Stunt got demolished by Brody Lee, Mr. Brody Lee. So there was that too, Mike.
Okay.
Exactly. Like, okay. Yes, they put Marcos.
Yeah, I didn't watch either show. I didn't care.
To the point where
I'm so uninterested in it.
To the point where AEW beat NXT in the ratings. But it's not really saying much though, bro. It's not, again, to every, and I see this shit on Twitter whenever Brian Alvarez posts on Twitter, oh yeah, this week NXT this, AEW that, but like people are celebrating this shit. Like, yeah, what the fuck are you motherfuckers celebrating though? That's what I want to know. What are we celebrating? Since wrestling is that low, when we're celebrating 600,000 viewers or whatever in that range almost. That's when the shit's sad, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And let that shit sink in, bro. Let that shit sink in. Meanwhile, Impact Wrestling is, I don't know what the fuck they're drawing, but I know they had night 2 of Rebellion. I didn't even watch it because, again, it's hard for me to really sit down and watch Impact Wrestling in 2020. I really feel like a lot of talent in that roster will be better off elsewhere. Perfect example, Moose.
Yeah.
Moose would benefit from being in AEW. Or hell, even in WWE. I know there was talk that he was going to go to WWE many years ago. He was going to go. But then they discovered that he had an issue of domestic abuse or domestic violence or shit like that. And that never happened. So there went his time in WWE, or potential time to go to WWE, as far as I can remember. But I think, again, someone like Moose could benefit from being in AEW. Because, yes, you have Brody Lee, you have Lance Archer, right? But you need more big men, I feel like. Yeah, Jake Hager, too. Jake Hager as well, I guess you want to count him. But I feel like you need more of that big monster guy, and Moose could be that person. Hell, I'll even go one step further. And if you go to MLW, their current, the current MLW world champion, Jacob Fatu. Imagine like Umaga
He's
almost.
Still their champion?
Jacob Fatu, yeah.
Okay. Good day having a lengthy title reign.
He's dominant, bro. Guy's a fuck. Again, he has like that Umaga aura to him almost, where he's athletic, he's agile for a big man, right? Fucking agile. He does this fucking moonsault off the top rope. Fucking beautiful, dude.
Is he related to anybody in the Fatu family?
Yeah, Jimmy and Jay.
Oh, okay. So he's in the family. He's in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. Fucking athletic as hell, dude. And then I look at someone like Anthony Hammerstone, the current MLW national champion. I think that's what he's called. My bad. Let me see here. Anthony Hammerstone. Here we go. Anthony Hammerstone, MLW. I know he's a champion on MLW too. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. I know he's the first national openweight champion in MLW right now.
That's what's called National Openweight?
Yeah, basically. He's right now the inaugural champion, and he's been killing it too, bro. It's too, again, I know Jim Cornette said this on his latest podcast. I think it was the Jim Cornette Experience. Like, it's hard to really think, right? Let this sink in, right? Here's two guys like Jacob Fatu and Anthony Hammerstone that are fucking beasts, right? That are made for television, but yet you see in AEW the likes of Marco Stunt and Orange Cassidy getting TV spots. Like, you see the bullshit that, like, you see, like, how the fuck is that even possible? It's fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? But again, wrestling right now in general just sucks right now, dude. It just sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And it's like, and again, I don't even know, dude. I know Roman's going to be doing a movie soon eventually, I think on Netflix. I know Becky is going to be doing a movie as well, I think with Marvel, Billionaires, I think that's what it's called. That's good for them. I'm happy for them, to be honest with you. So there's that.
You know what her scene is?
What happened?
Her scene is basically Becky Lynch's scene in Billions.
What's her scene?
Her scene is basically her. What?
It's her being the man, right?
Well, it's her explaining. Her scene in that show is her explaining doing the job, what doing the job is.
Yeah, basically.
She explains it in wrestling terms, and then she uses it in business terms.
Yeah.
Which is like
My
another freaking another stab to kayfabe.
Yeah. Apparently Heath Slater tells Cody not signing him would be a bad business decision, by the way. So apparently, I guess during a Q&A, apparently they asked Cody, right? Because again, Cody's doing these like Instagram Q&As, and I guess a fan asked if the company would be interested in Slater. And Cody responded bluntly, nope. No on Heath Slater.
Wow, why would he do that?
I don't know. And here's the thing about it. I get why, though. Because the last thing you want to do is come off like TNA 2.0. Bring in all these former WWE guys. But yet, at a point where now AEW, they got to start building their own talent. And you can make the argument that they are, sort of, if you will. They got to establish some of their own talent, right? And the last thing you want to do...
I mean, if you call your own talent...
Hey, I get it, yeah. But the point of the matter is that the last thing you really want to do is become TNA 2.0. Signing in all these former WWE guys and having these former WWE guys go over on what is supposed to be the homegrown talent in AEW. I get that, right? Judge Slater, who again was a large part of the WWE, a large part of that massive WWE releases on April 15th, quoted the story about Rhodes commented, right, and tweeted, "Damn no one Heath. I know you are a new businessman, but that was a bad business decision."
I agree with him. Sure.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, what do you have him do in AEW? They signed Heath Miller.
No. You don't get what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, I don't want to see Heath Slater in AEW, but it's just the way he went about it. He didn't have to bluntly say that as a businessman. I
mean, you could have said never say never.
No, Heath Slater. He could have danced around. That's how you're a businessman. You dance around the question without giving the actual answer. And him being so hard-headed, he's saying no. But he'll take dudes basically like the Revival, who were pretty much indie guys in a WWE setting. They like guys like that because that's pretty much what's in their company. Are rejects from the indies, making it their own. And I don't mean rejects in a bad way, but they're rejects. Come on, they look like the Odd Squad. Come on, but he didn't have to be bluntly like that.
I maybe it's again. You can keep this in mind too. Maybe he's him fucking with the fan. Remember, if you remember when Sean Spears, my bad, Tye Dillinger back in the day, was coming to AEW and Cody referred him as a good hand, and look what that did, right? Remember that? On the road to, I think it was Double or Nothing, or my bad, the road to, like, it was like the road to one of the road twos, right? And he referred to Sean Spears like a good hand, as a good hand, right? And Sean Spears took offense to that. Maybe that's the kind of other way too, I guess, to stir shit up. I mean, who knows really? Maybe we'll end up seeing Heath Slater in All Elite Wrestling. But at the same time, though, I'm not clamoring to see it, though. To be real with you,
I don't think nobody is.
I think, again, if you're one of these released talent from WWE that got let go on the 15th, some of these guys I really want to see shine on the independent scene first, and then decide to come to AEW or Ring of Honor or AW or NWA. I think honestly Heath has more of an NWA vibe to me than an AEW.
Right.
That's just my opinion, of course. This is honestly my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Again, there's nothing really to talk about after that, honestly. Unless something happens, I don't fucking know. Yeah, I'm going through all the sites right now, dude. There's like nothing right now, even worth like. I know there's a rumor apparently that WWE might have gone for sale, but apparently that's just a rumor right now. I don't want to jump the gun on that. I don't want to jump the gun on that, to be honest with you.
If WWE sells to a different company, like I know they're really talking about like library, but if WWE ever like sells like the company, like the whole enchilada to a different other company, that's the death of wrestling as we know it.
From what I'm hearing though, the rumors going around might be either ESPN or Disney as the buyers. But
ESPN is Disney.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But the point of the matter is though, I doubt it right now. The way that, because right now we're in a pandemic, so there's that.
Because right now Vince is looking for somewhere to, make money off of his current pay-per-views. Because even though there's a spike in subscriptions on the network, there's still a majority of that's free accounts. But he's just looking for, a platform to put his pay-per-views, his current pay-per-views on.
Yes. Apparently also, before we wrap this up, next week, The Undertaker's network series will be launching on the WWE Network, The Last Ride. Episode 1 will be taking place after Money in the Bank. So there's that as well for you guys to check out and all that stuff. Did Drake, the Chief, I honestly do have, did he resign? Did Drake Maverick resign with the company? It's a possibility that he might have signed back with the company. You know what I mean? And again, do I see him beating Kushida? No. Not in a million years. Kushida, say what you want about him. I know he doesn't come off that way on NXT, but he's one of the aces of the cruiserweight division, or the junior heavyweights, if you will. He comes off as an ace. The last thing you want to do is beat him. No, bruh. You don't do that. Not at all. Fuck that. Also, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, happy Bullet Club Day to all of you out there. I'm wearing my Bullet Club shirt. I rarely wear this shirt, to be honest. This, to me, has become a gym shirt, to be honest. It's more of a gym shirt now, to be honest. I remember back in the day, go to the wrestling shows, right? Everyone and their mother was wearing a Bullet Club shirt. And I said this a long time ago, and people got mad at me for saying this shit. And I said this is what I said a while ago. People got so mad for whatever reason. I said, wrestling fans wearing a Bullet Club shirt to a wrestling show is like going to school and everybody wearing Jordans or Vans.
Right.
And people got, how can you say that? This and that. I'm like, bro, because it's true. How many Bullet Club shirts do you see nowadays, right? From all the spin-offs, all the wrestlers that are in the Bullet Club right now that are left, right? That got their own take on the Bullet Club shirt, right? And the colors and the overlays. Look at Jordan sneakers. Look at Vans sneakers, right? All the colors and overlays, but people wearing them all the time. That's what I was going for, and people got so offended and so upset when I said that shit, bro. Shame on them. A lot of these dorks on the internet. God damn, bro. Speaking of which, and I know, again, we're prolonging this shit, but I'm going to wrap this up with this because, again, it is what it is. But, so apparently, listen, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, a lot of content creators that really bust their asses, if you will, honing their craft here. What have you, right? To put effort into what they're doing and all that stuff, right? I think that's awesome. That's respectable. Okay? For the first time I seen this shit, it's so hilarious, bro. There's someone that finally found a way to connect pro wrestling with OnlyFans. Now, in case you guys don't know what is OnlyFans is the website where a lot of like porn stars or models, if you will post videos or photos, if you will, that can be labeled as explicit, if you will, and they charge money for you to view these said photos or videos, if you will. So there's this person on Twitter. She goes by the name of Jessie. And again, this is not a knock by no means at all. But she's launching a OnlyFans, apparently. Now, granted, she launched this shit back in February. Keep that in mind, dude. It just hit me right now. She launched this shit back in February. But it's been pinned now, right? But apparently, this is what the tweet says. I've opened up an OnlyFans. My Twitter won't change, but I'll post lots of extra over there and try to do Q&A, vlogs, reaction requests, and more. Subscribe, please. But like, personally saying, and again, I'm not playing the video, but basically what she's going to be doing is she's not posting any nudes or anything like that. But it's basically her posting photo that she won't post on Twitter, video that she won't post on Twitter, but it's her doing reaction videos, Q&As. Here's my thing about it, okay? And again, this is not a knock or anything like that. Again, you gotta do what you gotta do. I get that during this difficult time. I understand that. But this, to me, comes off like a slap in the face to every content creator, every podcaster, every YouTuber that has a Patreon. That's how it comes off for me. And again, I'm not knocking anyone. But again, this is the first time that I've seen a chick in the wrestling community to really attract these dorks, if you will, with OnlyFans that connect pro wrestling with. And granted, I know Sunny has an OnlyFans apparently as well, which is if you will. But again, guys, honestly, if you're an influencer out there, if you're a content creator, if you really to this girl, honestly, if you really want money on that shit, just do a Patreon. I mean, she does have about 28,000 followers. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of desperate nerds out there that would probably think by signing to this shit, they're gonna see a naked blonde, but no, you're not getting that, apparently. Which again, it is what it is. It is what it is, Mike. Anything you want to say on that, Mike, before we wrap this up, bro?
No, bro. Wrap this up.
And I even know Joey Ryan posted apparently now also has a Patreon as well.
Good for him.
Which is like, whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, Mike, we're gonna wrap this up.
I mean, it ain't doing it in Indies.
Yeah, but still, bro, like, come on. If you're assigned to a TV company, like, come on, bro. I'm just saying.
Oh, who's he signed to?
Impact Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Screw that guy. I don't even know why I was defending him. I hate Joey Ryan.
Like, bro, he's on Impact Wrestling, dude. Like, you might think about it. I've seen...
Yeah.
I see Jordan...
That's why I would have never knew.
Like, you think about it, okay? I'm not knocking people that have Patreon. Again, if you're a content creator, right? Yeah, Patreon. That's fine, right? If you're a YouTuber, if you will, a podcaster, have Patreon, that's fine. But when I see these wrestlers, right, that have traveled the world, right? There's some of them are signed to six figures, so they're getting paid regardless, right? Launching a Patreon, it's like, bro, what the fuck, dude? Really? I'm just saying, it comes off as stupid as shit. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna wrap up the show. Put a bow on this. Mike, anything you want to say before we wrap this up, bro?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right, guys. I want to thank you all for tuning in this week. You guys have been awesome as always. All right. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the podcast some love on social media. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Again, this podcast has been brought to you by the good people over at Anchor.fm and also over at Honey. If you guys want to save some money with Honey. Get instant deals, coupons, and promo codes on all your online shopping. Use the special link to sign up and start saving. Special link is in the description box of the YouTube video where you are watching this live stream from. The podcast is available on all podcasting platforms: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, also over at okfabe.com. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell icon. Be notified when myself, along with Big Mike, will go live every single weekend, every single time when I upload a video and all that stuff. If you guys have not yet checked out episode number 3 of the throwback, myself and Big Mike went back in time and recapped SummerSlam 02. This week we'll be recapping TNA Unbreakable 2005. So make sure, again, you hit the bell icon, be notified when we upload the next episode of the throwback. Speaking of Big Mike, let them know, bro. Where can they check you out, bro?
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at Big Mike WRS and on YouTube at Big Mike Wrestling Recap Show.
You can follow me on Twitter at Heel Steven. And with that being said, guys, we are out like Janet's titties. This has been another installment of Around the Point.